thinking, Winter asked me to encourage the youth and the young people. And I know you're eating, but I like to, I know you're listening. That's how it works. And so what happens is I was thinking of what can I do? What can I say to encourage you? And I opened my Bible and all kind of stuff came up. But then I ran across the scripture, the story in the Bible in Luke chapter 5. If you go down to verse 18, well, it talks about a man. Now, I'm going to give you the Pastor D version to make this all go a lot faster, all right? So here was a man, he was paralyzed, right? Paralyzed, he could not walk, but his boys heard about Jesus was coming. Anytime you heard about Jesus was coming, everybody who was anybody went to find out and figure out where Jesus was. When Jesus was over there at Peter and them house didn't have a whole lot of space. So he was like, look, I heard about a man named Jesus. He healing people all over the land. We got to get you over there, right? So they decide the man cannot walk. Remember, he's paralyzed. So they pick up the whole bed that he's in and they walk him down to over there to Peter's house so they can see Jesus. You got any friends that'll pick you up when you can't walk? Probably not. So him and his friends, they decided to pick him up and walk him to see Jesus. Now, when they got to the house, they realized there was no room. It was jam-packed like it is right now in here. And there was no room because everybody who is anybody is trying to see Jesus. His friends didn't get mad and say, hey, bro, we messed up. We lucked out. Let's just go home. They was like, nah, you're going to see Jesus. So they walked up a ladder. Now, remember, the man is paralyzed and he is laying in a cot with his friends who have walked him miles to see Jesus. And that wasn't good enough because there was no room. So they decided, we're going to walk you up a ladder in a cot with your friends up a ladder. I have friends. I don't think they will walk me in a cot and up a ladder. Now, him and his friends in a cot up a ladder still wasn't good enough because he could see Jesus. And they said, no, we did all of this so that you can be in Jesus' face. Everybody say, difficult is not impossible. Remember, if you don't talk back to me, that makes this go a whole lot longer. Difficult is not impossible. So what happens is his friends decide, you know what? We on the roof and we can see Jesus, but that's still not good enough. So let's just cut a hole in the roof. Now, I believe that they had to be black back in that time because they cut a hole in somebody else's roof. You know how we do. We gonna find a way to get the job done. So here they are. They cut a hole in the roof. Now him opening the roof, cutting a hole in the roof, walking all of these miles, getting to the house, being outside of the house, walking up the ladder, being able to see Jesus cut a hole in the roof, that still wasn't good enough. They decided, we're gonna drop your whole bed down the hole. So, dropping the whole bed down the hole was their determination that although this was a difficult situation, it was not impossible. Young people, in life you are going to face some things that seem really hard. But just because it seems hard doesn't mean that you cannot do it. Say it again, difficult is not impossible. There is always a way to get something done. And if you do it the first time and you do not get it, do not give up. Never ever give up. Just always keep trying and keep pushing, and then you will find success on the other side. You ever had Miss Winter teach you and the team teach you a dance and you just couldn't get it? And it was so frustrating and you got so tired of Miss Alicia fussing at you because you're doing the plie wrong and you just want her to shut up because you're frustrated because you can't get it, but you don't want to be disrespectful. So you go home and you tell your mama, I quit this team because it's too hard. And she say, I already done paid their money and I done bought them uniforms. You gonna get out this car and go up there and practice. Difficult is not impossible. So then you keep trying and you keep pushing and you keep trying and you figure it out, I can do it. The thing in life is you have to keep trying and you have to keep pushing, because the only way you figured out that you cannot accomplish something is if you stop trying. Think about it. Colonel Sanders, KFC, y'all eat some KFC chicken? I own it like original. That extra crispy is too hard. It hurt my tooth in the back. We almost had a dentist accident from the extra crispy. So I only get the original chicken. And you know they had that $5 box. I believe that was sent from heaven. $5. You get 2 pieces of biscuit, a side, and a cookie, and a drink. $5. If y'all didn't know, Popeye's got a $5 box too, just in case y'all didn't know. It's not on the menu, but you gotta ask them. I want the $5 box. They don't put it on the menu because they know how we gonna do it. Menu, like my grandma say, the menu. So what happens is you have these things that you face. Colonel Sanders, 99 times he went and they told him that his chicken, he wasn't going to be able to open it. He got 99 no's. 99 times he tried to franchise KFC and could not do it. But on time 100, he eating good and we eating good too. You cannot give up after the first no. You cannot give up after the 10th no. You cannot give up after the 100th no. You have to keep pushing until somebody tells you yes. And that takes some audacity, that takes some persistence. I don't care if the teacher don't like you. If you pass in the test, then she still have to pass you. Difficult is not impossible. The only thing that makes impossible possible is when you stop trying and when you decide to give up. So you say, Pastor D, I got a few more minutes. Oh, I'm doing good on time. Pastor D, what do I have to do in order to be successful in life? How do I get to a place where walking to where Jesus is wasn't enough? Getting to the house wasn't enough for him and his friends. Walking up the ladder wasn't enough. The first thing he had was some people surrounding him that was going to push him to be successful. If you have friends around you and they don't push you to be successful, then they're not your friend. And if your mama told you that she not old and didn't know nothing, I promise you they not your friend. Mama always know who your real friends are anyway. You just usually end up finding out the hard way. So if she says she not your friend, baby, she not being mean, I promise you if you just keep on, you're going to realize she's not. So what happens is you have to have some people in your corner that are not going to let you give up. If it wasn't for his friends, the paralyzed man would have never made it to the house. And not only would I have made it to the house, but they wouldn't have never got upstairs. And then so what happens is there are 5 D-A-N-C-E. All you have to do is just dance. Everybody say dance. The D in dance says that you have to discover the need to pursue purpose. First of all, you have to figure out that you need whatever it is that you're setting out to do. You need to do your homework so that you can have good grades. Not just so that your mom is happy, so that you can go on to college. They have raised the entrance into college. Your grades follow you from now until you hit that door at Southern University or Southeastern Louisiana University. Your grades gonna follow you right on through the college. And you cannot wait until your senior year to say, I'm gonna pass all of my classes. Because everything you did before, it follows you. So you have to understand and discover the need to pursue purpose. And then the A in dance, it says you have to admit that you need help. Young people, did you hear that? Admit that you need help. You cannot do everything by yourself. Your mama is not dumb. She's been here longer than you've been alive. And if you just listen, then she may be able to guide you in the right way. But you have to admit first that you need help. They don't know that you need help if you're not going to open your mouth and tell them that you do. I teach kindergarten. And I fuss at them all the time because they'll come up to me and just put their foot on my leg. Now, mind you, I see that the shoestring is not tied, but I always tell them, I don't know that you need me until you tell me what it is that you need. So putting your foot on my leg is not going to make me tie your shoe. What will make me move in action is saying, Miss Washington, will you tie my shoe, please? So sometimes you can't assume that just because you're walking around sad that your friends know that you need prayer. Admit that you need help and then ask for it. And then the C in the end says that you need to navigate with the end in mind. Everything you do affects something. I teach this to my kindergartners. Everything you do affects something. Just because you're 5 does not mean that you get away with not telling the truth. Because if you learn how not to tell the truth at 5, you become 35 and you are a pro at lying. Everything you do affects something. So you have to navigate with the end in mind. Prepare yourself for where you want to go. If you want to be the best dancer, then you should be dancing when Miss Winter is not around. You should be dancing in your room with your mama fussing. If you don't stop kicking my wall, but you're preparing yourself for where you want to go. And then the C says you need to create a way when options are few. When there is no way, make a way. That's how new inventors are. That's how they come up with new technology every day. There is always somebody thinking of a new way to do something, and you can be that person that has the new way of doing it. So when there is no way, make a way. You know what your mama did when you was hungry and there was no food? She made sure you ate. Right? They come up with all kind of stuff. I just realized there's some cheese toast on some bread. You put it in the oven. Y'all remember that. My mama and them used to have that commodity cheese. Y'all may not know nothing about that. But it was so thick that if you cut it wrong, then you're going to have that big piece on the end. And it's going to take forever to melt. So you got to put it in the oven on broil. And then you got to watch it, because broil will burn fast. Real quick. You can't go to the bathroom on broil. You come back, all your toast just black. You can't eat that. My mama say scrape all that off. We got to eat this bread. So what happens is they always made a way. There was no such thing as there's nothing in here to eat. My first meal I ever cooked, there was a pack of noodles and a can of tomato paste. And I said, well, I saw mama boil these and you put this in there, and we ate good that day. Because there's always a way. Create a way if there isn't one that you see. And then finally, with 7 minutes left, it says that you got to enjoy the blessed life. One thing that happened after they put the man, they walked him to the house. From the house, they walked up the ladder. From the ladder, they cut a hole in the roof, and then they dropped him down to Jesus. His audacity made him be able to be healed. Just because Jesus said, you know what, the boldness that you had, just pick up your bed and go ahead and walk home. So he was able to enjoy life because he understood that difficult was not impossible, and he had the audacity to believe that he could accomplish what he set out to do before he left home. If there is nothing I learned from young people, my nephew is 7 years old now, and he's going to 2nd grade, and I have never given him the instruction manual to an Xbox. He has never read the instructions to NFL 2K something and NBA Live and all this great stuff. And yet he figured out how to play it when he was 3. And if you play long enough and if you beat him, you're going to be at his house all night until he beats you. So that lets me know that when you set your mind to it, there is nothing that you can't accomplish. So young people, if you leave home every day, I don't care if you're 3 years old, if you leave home with the mindset that today is going to be a good day, I'm going to learn something new, and I am going to be great at whatever I set my mind to do, then the world has to watch out. Because there's one thing that I understood about young people, there is nothing that they can't accomplish if they don't put their mind to it. You can do anything that you set out to do if you put your mind to it. If you work hard at it, all you have to do is dance. Discover the purpose, admit that you need help, navigate with the end in mind, create a way with options of few, and enjoy the blessed life. Amen? And so what I want to do, I don't want to have an opportunity to be in the presence and not allow somebody the opportunity to know God. And all of this stuff may sound good. You may be like, well, you know what, Pastor D, that sounds good. I'm going to get me a Bible app. And remember, I was in Luke chapter 5. And it says it sounds good, but I don't really know this Jesus that you're talking about. If you come